What is going on, Ape Army? What is going on, veterans? Big shout out to all of you guys, but especially the veterans. And I know Memorial Day is to honor those that have fallen before us, that served in the military, but I do think everybody that served sacrificed to a certain extent. So thank you for your services. Now, in this video, we are looking at the ORTEZ data because it is slightly more refined than it was during the last video. So we're going to briefly take a look at that and what I think that does mean, as well as take a look at how the German exchange for AMC is up 12% today. Now, if we click on it, they are at $24.90, and there's a bit of price difference, but just looking at the charting, you can see where we hit our all-time high the same day we did on the US exchange, and then came down pretty much the same way we did on the US exchange. And I'll pull that up for you guys right now. We went up really high and then came down. And then German trading, this did go from 3 a.m. last night to 11 a.m. this morning. So they did trade today. It's not a national, or I shouldn't say national, but worldwide holiday. So there was trading in Germany, and they did end the day up 11.86%. Now, obviously, the German markets have way less volume than the American markets, but just take a look at these green candles. It is absolutely insane volume they've seen over there, and I do expect the same thing to happen on the US markets tomorrow morning. So I do think tomorrow is going to be an insanely volatile day, and that is when I'm looking to make a trade. Now, hopefully we do open down about 5 to 10%. I don't think we're going to. I think it's the opposite. We'll probably open up 10 to 15% higher. But if we do open up lower and you get that confirmation of momentum and velocity, that is where I will be looking to strike a trade, or maybe off the first rip, if we start to get some volatility on the downside, that is where I will strike a trade, because I do think it'll be similar, if not probably double what the German market did yesterday. So AMC will probably, if I were to guess, close about 25% higher at the end of the day, but we'll probably open about 15% up, probably go back down to about 8% up, and then rip up from there. So those are the two key points. I am looking to make a trade on this, as well as we need to look at the ORTEZ data because it is slightly refined. And as far as percentage free flow on loan, or how many shares are actually shorted, the percentage of shares, last time we did this update, it was at 26.99%. Now it is at 27.07. Like I said, change of 3.68%. So slightly more shares actually have been shorted, and the data is becoming more refined, and these are all estimates. So this is not actually what is set in stone as to what is shorted, but ORTEZ has the best data out there and is used by a lot of different companies and individuals. Now, if we do just take a look at when the last exchange reported short interest was on May 14th or May 25th, it was recorded May 14th. That came in at 19.26%, considerably going up from the last short squeeze that we did have. Now, there's a lot of implications for this. I do think the higher AMC goes, the more shorts that are short are going to be forced to cover. That's pretty much a given. But I do think a lot of institutions that are long with the retail traders will start to flip into shorts. That is where we will set the price here and set the bottom. Because if we all hold and we all keep buying into AMC, then there will be no choice for everybody to eventually cover their shorts. But it only makes sense that a lot of institutions, once they make money on the upside, they will switch and try to play the downside. That is how they do operate. So that is what I expect from the institution. So I do think we'll see a massive squeeze because of that. I think it'll probably take another week or two, depending how high and how fast we do evolve with AMC stock. If we go to $100 in the next week, by Friday, if we're at $100, a lot of these long institutions are gonna start going short. That is just what is going to happen. So as far as the exchange reported short interest, last it was at 94.58 million, previous at 87.55 million, but that is not actually the shares on loan, which is 132.92 million. Like I said, change of 3.68%, days to cover at 1.24, cost to borrow at 9.26%. We'll get more updating to this tomorrow, and I will bring you guys an update to that, but the utilization rate is at 99.64%. So essentially, essentially out of all the shares that institutions could borrow, 99.64% of those are already borrowed. So that is where you get the synthetic share argument, and that is essentially where I went over it in the last video. But if you don't know what it is, or you didn't listen to that video, then it's essentially how institutions will make other derivative contracts for other institutions or hedge funds, whatever the case is, people with a lot of money, and then essentially create these synthetic shares. That's where you get the GameStop situation. There's more shares that are actually out there than are what is supposed to be out there. That is why the shareholder vote being held June 2nd is going to be absolutely critical for AMC stock. As to how I am going to trade AMC tomorrow, this is not a recommendation, so do whatever you want and don't follow me, because I trade options on a daily basis and know how to trade these. But I'm going to be looking for the June 18th contracts because they have the most volume, and the June 4th just expire in 4 trading days. So if anything does go wrong for whatever reason, or we even consolidate out sideways further, you're going to lose money on these June 4th contracts, and they're going to be so volatile you'll probably not even have a chance to get out of them if you did want to. So I don't think it's worth the risk to reward to play the June 4th when you can get the June 18th for relatively cheap. I mean, take a look at the $30 calls for $655, or even further down the chain, you get more options of, even to $73. So I will probably look for about a $50 call for $400. And then just depending what the price action does, or if I can get these for cheaper, like I said in the beginning of the video, if AMC does open up down 5%, let's say, you'll be able to get these for a lot cheaper because they have a huge implied volatility, which is 395.14%. So that is the implied move, and that is the relative basis how much these contracts are going to move per dollar. They're going to move a lot per dollar. AMC stock moves. So that's the game plan for that. If we do open up higher, like I said, I will wait for a slight downside movement. If we don't get that, I will probably just strike on these and plan to hold them for the next 2 weeks. But I'm going to try to get the best deal possible, and that is what you guys should do too. Like I said, not a recommendation, but that is what I'm doing. I am not playing any weeklies just because they're too risky. If you did want to go out even further, the July 16th would be your next best bet, because these are also on the cheaper side relative to the move that we could see in AMC. Not as many strikes. There's 3 less strikes. This chain only goes to 70, but all is pretty good there. I wouldn't go too much further out than that unless you really think this is going to be a prolonged thing, and obviously then do that. Really, it comes to your own conclusions on how to trade these, because there's many different ways. The further out you go as far as the expiration date, the less move you're going to get when AMC does move, but the safer it is because you have more time for that move to actually happen. So I like to go somewhat in the middle. That's why I like to do about a 1 month out. So I might even go to the Julys. That doesn't look too bad either, but the June 18th are really what I am eyeing for tomorrow morning. That is going to wrap up this video. If you guys want to help push this video out to more people and recruit more apes for the movement, make sure to hit that like button as well, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what is your price target for AMC. Now, if you are also interested, I send out all of my buy and sell alerts, link in the description, and I send out any news events that happen in the markets that you need to be aware about. So if you want to be a part of that, check it out, link down below in the description, as well as get up to $70 in whatever free stock that you want using the link for public. No deposit required, and no need to link your bank account. You can actually link a debit card if that is how you want to deposit funds into the platform. So with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day, and peace out.